On the economy, is there any good news you can share with us on the resilience of the U.S. economy, and what's the latest you're hearing from the chairman of the Fed?
Yeah. Well, the economic, when I was in Washington, you could really sense a growing sense of confidence and relief that the economic hard times are getting behind us. The job, unemployment remains high, but companies are posting profits, particularly in the high-tech sector, which is a great benefit to Malaysia. The US-Malaysia trading relationship is very much up. So we're at almost $40 billion in two-way trade in 2010, a large increase in U.S. exports, an increase in Malaysian exports. So I'm very optimistic. I think we've got a lot to work with. As we work on this Trans-Pacific Partnership trade negotiation, I think that will give investors and traders added confidence to become active between our countries, which I think only benefits both our peoples.
The House Republicans recently approved spending cuts, and that there's this fear that will slow down the U.S. economy further. And do you think that the U.S. should cut down its budget during these uncertain times?
Well, there's a great debate going on in the United States right now about government spending, and I think you're going to see this play out. The House of Representatives is the originator of spending bills, but it's not the final decider. So that's one very important piece of the puzzle. The United States, the economy is largely, enormously, overwhelmingly in the hands of the private sector. So the government spending is important, but it's not a determinative factor. So I think if you see the United States getting control of the deficits, that's not necessarily going to have a very negative impact on the economy. In some areas, it'll have a positive impact as people have growing confidence in the bond market and other things.
Oil prices skyrocketing again, further fueled by the unrest in the Middle East. I think it's about crude is now about $100 a barrel. Are you worried about the impact of the rising oil prices on the global economy, specifically on the U.S. economy?
Well, I think it impacts the whole world when the price of oil goes up. I think we have a recovery that is resilient. The pace may be impacted by the price of oil. I tend to hope that if the political change that's going on in the Middle East right now, if governments can get ahead of the reform agenda that people are demanding in several countries in the Middle East, that'll add confidence to the markets, and maybe the price would come down again.
But on a brighter note, the U.S. jobless rate is down to 9%.
Yeah,
I think it's the lowest in 21 months.
Yeah, it's dropped a little bit. Now, that's still sort of unsustainably high, and I think you're going to still see great efforts to bring it down, because for us that's a very high figure, but it's headed in the right direction.
I'd like to ask you about the Najib administration. He has launched reforms to make the economy more competitive. We have the economic transformation program, the new economic model. From the American perspective, how does it really change how you see Malaysia as a potential spot for investment?
Yeah, I think American companies are watching this very carefully, and I think people are impressed by the plans. The new economic model, the transformation program, and I think there's going to be great interest in how they're implemented. As I say, I think everybody believes, everyone that I've spoken to in American business believes this is a very good move in the right direction. Again, it's the speed and how far the reforms will go in implementation is something that traders and investors around the world will watch.
The bulk of U.S.-Malaysia trade involves the electrical and electronic sector.
And oil and gas.
Yeah. Oil and gas, the country is moving towards a higher income economy with knowledge and service-based industry focus. What role can the U.S. play as Malaysia's largest trading partner to help in this agenda?
Yeah. Well, what the U.S. is the largest foreign investor in Malaysia, both in terms of total stock and in terms of investment in 2010. I think what that brings to Malaysia is exactly what you're suggesting, is American companies. I mean, the United States is the largest and most competitive market in the world. It's also the most innovative and creative high-tech market in the world. So the investment by U.S. firms here in Malaysia not only creates jobs, I mean, tens of thousands of jobs, but it holds the prospect for higher-level knowledge-based jobs here. The trade relationship is also very important, and I think that because of the trade, the way that even though the United States is not Malaysia's #1 export market, when you see the trade patterns, whether exports are going to Singapore or to China, the ultimate destination of the product tends to be the United States market. So it still drives, the United States market drives what Malaysia produces.